as I am.
All right. It's that time again. I didn't even know it was that time. Connor's going 5 forward. I was like, what's going on? This is episode 10, Connor. Can you believe that? Been coming in here 10 times. I done got my glasses on. I ain't even trying to read nothing. Got this piece of junk computer over here trying to work up. But welcome back to Back It Up, Terry. Got a real special guest in today. I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Jackie Matheny Jr., the High Sheriff.
It's good to be here. A little nervous.
A little nervous.
Sitting here beside the Chris Terry.
Man, just think of me as Barney Fife, and I'm thinking you of Andy. And I only got one bullet, and it's in my pocket. Now, well, with that being said, I thought about this in a way. If you took a poll of about 100% of my friends, they would have figured it would be the opposite way around, that you would have been interrogating, questioning me instead of me questioning you.
Interviewing you about something that you've
yeah.
done, yeah.
Yeah. But luckily, neither one of us are getting interviewed for anything bad.
Well, that is a good thing.
Let's just go right off the bat. Glad the election's over with, I'm sure, right?
Oh, absolutely. Elections are real tiring. And we run for about a year. And that's a lot of, going places, meeting people, and then plus, having to work on top of that. And, I have a family that has young kids, and of course they're very demanding also. So it was, I'm very glad that it's over.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 12 and 9.
12 and 9. Well, I remember when that 12-year-old was starting not liking you in about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, and it just seems like the other day he was 5, and it's like, time's a thief, and I need to do a better job of spending more time with my children, for sure.
I think that, without being said, with everybody, we wake up one day and we have kids, and we wake up the next day and they're going to college or going to the Army or something, and at one time, I would have argued and fought you to the death if you'd have told me that I was a bad parent. But as I've got older, and my son's 24 now, I realized that I failed miserably in a bunch of ways, which I think that's to say with any parent. I think if you look at really how you raised your kids, I mean, don't get me wrong, raised my kid good, I've done a good job. I've done the best that I knew how to do at the time, but looking back, that pitching ball in the yard, that hey, I'm too tired to do this. Hey, go fishing or something. That's really something that.
Yeah, it is, and I get a lot of that. Both my boys play baseball. I've got one that's on the middle school baseball team, and one plays travel ball. And they're all the time wanting to be on the go. Come throw with me, Dad, or this. And there's been a lot of times that I ain't been able to, and you just don't get that time back. So it's. Like I said, I'm glad the election's over with, and you get a little bit more free time, with them.
Well, so how long what's your wife's name?
Candace.
How long you been married?
About 15 years.
She put up with you that long?
Yeah.
All right. With that being said, how long you been in law enforcement?
I started jailing in 1997.
Well, I can tell you that's been
that's almost 29.
It's
off and on.
29 years.
I did around 6 months, and I left and went back and played some college baseball at Motlow, and I played down there for a year, and then I come back in late 98. So I'm right at 28, 29 years.
So was you a county cop here in town or a city cop before running to be sheriff?
I was a jailer at the jail.
Oh, okay. So you done?
Oh, you're talking about before I was sheriff? I thought you were talking about when I started. No, I worked at the district attorney general's office before I run for sheriff.
Okay. What did your daddy? Your daddy spent what? 24 years? Is that right? How long did he spend?
He was 24 years as sheriff.
That's what I thought. What was his first initial thought when you said, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm gonna run for sheriff"?
He says you need to go pray about that very hard.
Well,
uh,
that's pretty good advice because that ain't no easy job. And I've had some district attorney in that was running. I've had in Josh Roberts, had Levy Glenn in, and different people. You're never going to make everybody happy. It don't matter what you do. Y'all are in a position. It's like the judge. Even on the best day, the
mhm,
judge is only making 50% of the people in the courtroom happy.
right.
Uh, there's somebody going to be mad at him every time they leave. There's lawyers. That's a job that's like hard to juggle and not get wrapped up in. Uh, is it hard on your family? Is it like does your wife? Is it hard on her for you being the sheriff? Does she take? Does
Well,
people treat her? I guess it's does people treat her different?
I would say a little bit, and even my my children. If something happens, and they're old enough now, to kind of know, hey, Jackson's dad's the sheriff or whatever. But if something happens to their mother or father or whatever, there's been some comments made to my children, or so on social media where my wife can see something that has been said about me or something, and it is tough. And everybody's on social media, and I talked about it a little bit before. We was just before the show started. I mean, social media is anybody can get on there and they can say whatever they want, and of course that's my family, and they want to defend me, and of course I love them for that, but I also just want them to stay off and just try to, you know,
Man,
they're
Facebook, social media, the whole works is like the greatest tool with a doubled edge.
hmm
It's also the worst tool. Uh, you can get a lot of knowledge. You can find out a lot of stuff, and then you can get the most useless, worthless nonsense that I have ever. I tell people I keep Macmillan chatter, and I don't even know why, except for I call it my Howard Stern. The only reason why I watched Howard Stern when he was on ETE was
yeah.
to see what he done next, and I believe that's whatever how he become popular is. People tuned in the next time going, what can he do next? Well, I keep Macmillan chatter because I'm like, what can somebody really get? And the stupider is not a word more stupid than the last person on there.
There's and you're right, Chris. It's just like there's a lot of things that can be said, and it's like when it's out there, it's out there, and some things true, some things untrue. But as far as a family and being in a political position, and I'm sure other politicians that you've had on the show would say the same thing. It's just it's hard on the family to read some of the things that's said about their loved ones, and so do this. You got to have thick skin and just kind of let it roll off and go on to the next thing, and just do what you think is right, and go home, and you can put your head on the pillow and
Sleep
sleep good
good.
at night.
Yep.
Uh, so
So what was it like having your daddy as a daddy? Because let's just face it, your daddy was a still is. I mean, I'm sure both of us at the same time, but he was a bad dude back in the day. He fought the tough man things over at the Civic Center and whooped a very few people. Not few. I don't mean few as not many, but he whooped many people over there,
I guess you could say he was like one of the toughest, nicest guys
guys.
that you would ever meet. I mean, he was just like a Now they was at times he was a bear. Now I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he's whooped my hind end many a times over the years. But over the years, the person that you see in public that and all that, that's what I got at home. And I mean, he's best man I know. He's a great role model. Uh, that's I could keep on going, but he's a great man.
So what's he doing now since he's not sheriff? Is he just enjoying retirement? Is he
No, he's actually took a full time pastoring position at Gath Baptist Church.
okay?
He's been able to baptize both of my sons. So
Sweet. That's got to be a proud moment for Grandpa to uh, step up. Now I have heard Jackie preach before. Very solid dude. I'm a big fan of your whole family. Uh, I don't have a bad word to say about Jackie, and if I did, I'd keep it to myself because I'd be afraid he'd squash me. uh,
Uh,
how many people do you have under you out there at the jail?
122 plus or minus a couple, I'd say.
22,
122.
120, 122 people, like
Yes,
employees.
employees.
Wow.
Yeah,
How many patrolmen do you have?
I think I have 54 certified.
Wow. I, think when you said 122, I thought I misunderstood you, and I was like, "Did you say 22?"
122. So you can imagine, there's, it's, there's, problems that come up, and, first part of every day is pretty much a HR day, trying to see what's happened,
Put fire
yeah,
out.
putting the fires out, trying to get everybody to stay, be nice to one another and things like that.
Uh, I will say this about any of your deputy sheriffs that I've run into, uh, whether it be at back to the strip or at the fairgrounds, or I had one pull me over the other night. So I mean, and he was super duper nice. They've all been nice. Do you ever, you watch on Facebook these people, or not Facebook, but TikTok stuff? You have these people that want to like, I don't have to show you my license. I don't. I'm a sovereign citizen. Do y'all run into any of that here in Warren County?
Well, yeah, we actually had a little, and it was put on Facebook. The guy actually challenged me to a boxing match. I don't know if anybody ever seen that, but
I did not.
but anyway, he was one of them that didn't want to, get out of the car, didn't want to do what the police, told him to do, um, and he ended up getting, arrested or whatever, and had some things to say, and challenged me to a boxing match. So,
Man, I taught my son a long time ago. If you get pulled over, put your hands on the steering wheel like this, that way they can see your hand. Yes, sir, and no, sir is your best friend. When one of them walks up to you,
well, a lot of confrontations that police have is, if they would have just done what the officer asked them to do, you know, and it puts the officer in a bad situation because, if they have a lawful reason to pull you over, they can ask for your license, they can ask you to step out of the car, and a lot of people don't understand that, and they can just do that, and then, they'll barely roll the window down, won't talk or whatever, and then you see the outcomes of what happens, and they put the officer in a bad situation. And my advice would be is, do what the officer asks you to do, and then if you've got a complaint, we'll deal with it on the back end of the
it's a whole
of the
lot easier to
situation.
fight that in a courtroom than it is in a
On the
jail
s-
cell on the side of the road.
on the side of the road.
Because
Yes.
more than, I mean, let's just face it. If you get too rowdy, you're going to end up in handcuffs in the back of a cop car, and you took a simple, hey, I need your license, I'm going to write you a ticket for speeding or whatever it is,
hmm
into now you're going to jail and you got to post bond, and 99% of the time you're going to lose in that because there is body cams. I mean,
Well, and Chris, right now a road officer is probably the most dangerous job there is around because you've got to assume that everybody's got a gun in their
yep.
car, and I mean, just people, don't realize what goes through an officer's mind when they're pulling somebody over. And I mean, they're already on, trying to be on point. And, if you're nervous, you make that officer a little nervous, just do what the officer asks you to do, and, I think things turn out 100% better that way.
Well, you speak of that, and my mother moved to Memphis back in the 80s, and this is probably about 82 or 3. There was a car that had just robbed a 7-Eleven down from the apartments that she lived in, and it was dragging its muffler. And now this cop did not know that this guy had just robbed the 7-Eleven. He stopped the car just to tell him that his muffler was dragging. Guy shot the cop. Didn't kill him. That's how the story got out, is that he was simply stopping. He had no idea. So like you said, you have to assume everybody is, even though she's a 90-year-old woman, she still might have had a bad day and have a gun. So, you're walking up especially at nighttime, in the dark.
Right.
Can't see in the car and stuff. Uh, I got to do an ad read right quick. Got some
Okay.
sponsors, man. People are paying.
Hey, let's
People are
get
paying.
let's get their names
Got
out
to
there.
get their names out there. Connor, what we doing? Depot bottom. All right, Connor, get. Oh, I can see depot bottom over here. This piece of crap of computer finally come up, Connor. Depot bottom. Ours 6:30 to 2. They're trying out that new early hours. Uh, Suzanne and the crew down there, great breakfast. You can go down there on Tuesdays for Taco Tuesday. You got Diablo sandwich, taco salad. You got a special each day. Suzanne and the crew down there, man, I can't speak highly enough. I eat breakfast down there every morning. I get one scrambled egg with cheese and a piece of sausage. They got great breakfast, great lunch, great sweet tea too. I mean, it's the real deal. Uh, Go down there to Depot Bottom Country Store, right down there at Depot Bottom. Everything is better at the bottom. Uh, let's see. Where we gonna go now? Uh,
Well, you want to back up a little bit and let me tell you a funny story about you brought up that my dad did all them tough man competitions,
yes.
and I'll tell you a story that well, you might know, you might not know, but I thought I was bad, back in the day too, and they had amateur boxing at Mix Factory, so I had all my buddies, around town, gassing me up to do this amateur boxing. Well, I asked my dad. I was like, "Hey, would you train me to box?" And he says, "Well, if you, put in 100% effort, I'll train you. But if you ain't gonna listen to me, I ain't messing with you." So I get over there, and I'm wanting to. He's got my hand, kind of like you see in the movies. And I can only throw a jab, and I'm hitting that. And of course, then I'm over there waylaying, trying to fight. He's like, "You ain't listening to a word." I said, "I'm telling you, just throw your jab. That's all we're working on right now." So I got mad at him and said, I'm smarter than you. I'm gonna do my own thing. So anyway, I did end up going down and entering this this kind of a tough man, but it was boxing. It was actually boxing, amateur boxing, and got in there and he told me before I went. He said, "Son, you ain't ready. You're gonna get hurt. You ain't in shape to be out there boxing." He says, I'm not having nothing to do with you. If you want to do it, you just do it yourself. So anyway, I went down there and first round went in there and hit the guy. I thought, I hurt him pretty good, and he went up against the ropes, and we had a little tussle there, and ding ding ding, go back to the ropes, and I can't lift my arms. I mean, after one round, I feel like I can't lift my arms. So I get back out there the second round, and it goes okay, decent. I get back to the corner, and I thought, oh no, I'm fixing to throw up. So I, do that dry heaving. I've got people from Warren counties up in the stands, down at the bottom. They're like, "Don't do it, Matheny." They just call me Body Snatcher. That was what they said, Jackie the Body Snatcher or whatever. They was like, "Don't do it, Matheny." And Chris, I threw up all over the place. I threw up. I had a little hole in my mouthpiece. It was coming through the hole of the mouthpiece. It went in my seat. I was so tired I just sat down in it. And I couldn't go back out, And all my buddies and everybody was laughing at me. I told the story in college. I had to give a speech on it, and they was all laughing and thought it was funny, but it was supposed to be the most embarrassing moment of your life. Well, that was my most embarrassing moment of my life.
Well, I tell you, a round of boxing is 3 minutes, right?
Well, this was actually a minute 30 seconds.
Still, I
If
boys,
you're throwing punches for that long, it's a whole lot a different game. I mean, you definitely feel it. I was definitely in no shape to be out there boxing.
I tell my son, of course, my son's 24, and he gets a little cocky every once in a while, and I just tell him, I say, "Son, I got about 18 seconds. I'm gonna have to hurt you bad. I'm gonna have to hurt you quick. But after about 18 seconds, I'm gonna be out of breath. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be down. I can't do nothing." So second term, right?
Yeah.
Uh, are we going for a career?
Chris, my career is
Making it through the next four?
making it through the next 4 years. Making it through the next 4 years. And, I've never say never, about running, but I'll have, I'll be at 32, 33 years in. And that's a pretty long career, really in law enforcement nowadays. And so, we'll have to see if it goes any further than that.
So I've always heard this: the only person in a town that can arrest you is the coroner. Is that right?
Well, they used to say the only person that could arrest me was a constable,
Okay.
but I don't know if that's still in effect. I think some of them still think that, but I think that if I was to be arrested, they'll have to get the TBI in and do an
I always
investigation or
heard the
something like
coroner,
that.
and I didn't ever know why, but that's what I'd always heard.
I've always heard the constable, but I've never heard the coroner. So
So, I how many? This may be a question that is how many square miles do y'all travel? Do you have any idea?
I'm wanting to say it's like 700 and something square
Because I
miles.
mean, you think about being at the furthest point up 56 towards Grundy County. I guess that's probably about the furthest out that way,
Hmm.
and you're going to go to the first. What is it like 60 something miles across?
It is, and the reason why I'm pretty sure it's close to that number because I reached out and I asked Levy that because I wanted to know how where we was on pavement and gravel, and out of all the miles that we have in our county, there was like 3 miles that was gravel.
Oh yeah, I had him on last week, and he said that they was down to 3 to 5 miles. Is all there was
Right.
gravel now, and that was low lying areas that just couldn't be nothing done with. And he started out when his daddy took over. There was like 350 or 400 miles
Yeah,
of gravel roads.
I remember I was young, but I remember. I mean, it's come a long ways, since Levy has been there on paving the roads in our county. Uh, but I thought that was interesting. That was only 3 miles of it that was not paved.
Who? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Uh, is Holden Carter your best deputy?
Well, I would, he is a University of Tennessee volunteer fan, big football
He is a
fan.
big football
So,
fan.
in my opinion, that ranks him right up there in
You
that
got any
top.
Alabama cops? I mean, does any of them like pull for Alabama? And
Well,
can we get them fired?
well, if I do, we don't speak too much.
The only people. So Leslie Hayes, a good friend of mine, she's a true blue Alabama fan, but now she's born and raised in Alabama. So I cut them people a little bit of slack. I mean, they are from Alabama. They're not the
Mhm.
smartest. I mean, I don't mean that being mean, Alabama people. I'm just cutting up. It's about Tennessee football. It's a big rivalry. If you don't know, but
You see, they announced Faison he's gonna start true freshman.
uh-uh.
They, I, well, if you can believe social media, Faison is gonna be the starter, true freshman.
Well, brought up social media. Let's just what's a sad day in the United States of America Day? Ain't it?
Oh, we lost Dolly.
Boys, I want to tell you something. I sat down over at Mud Bums, which if you want to be a sponsor of Mud Bums, we're still looking for you. Come on down, Brett. I know you sponsor the other show, but you can sponsor this too. And pulled up Facebook, and immediately it started talking about. And I was like, "No, this is a joke." And then got to reading, and no, it's not a joke. And I don't believe single-handedly there has ever been a person. Uh, I'll say from Tennessee that's done more for kids and her community, and by far is one of the nicest super mega stars. Uh, uh, I think this needs to be Dolly Parton Day. I think you was talking about the books. My son got the books. Imagine?
I think it was is it Imaginary Library or
I
something
think it's
like
something
that
like that.
that she had, and she wanted every kid to have books, and she sent out books, and my children would get her books, and I thought it was real neat. I never met her, but I feel like I know her. It's like one of those things.
I think that's the way everybody
Yeah, I
is.
mean, I feel like she's just part of the family. I mean, you've seen her, my whole life, and even my kids. I'm sure they'll be upset when they find out, what's happened. We go to Dollywood pretty regular, and take the kids, and it's just a beautiful place, and she's a beautiful person, and everybody feels like they know her, and they started, was it you know, 3 or 4 years ago. It might have been longer than that when they started doing the stories of her around Christmas
Hmm.
time, and you know, she's just you feels like it's just one of us.
Icon would be the word that I would use towards her. She's just she's so funny too. You know, they would interview her about the way she looked and stuff. She goes, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap." You know,
Well, she was real down to earth, you
very.
know, and she stood on her principles.
Uh,
And
and I think there was like 12 or 13 of them kids, or there was a whole bunch. She had a whole bunch of brothers and sisters.
sisters.
And I watched her nephew or something done the press release today, and he was head of her security. He had took over his daddy's job as head of security, and she had give him a speech to do if anything was to ever happen to her. Uh, but want to say rest in peace, Dolly. I mean, uh, man, what a I think the world's less of a better place today because she's not around.
Yeah, it's definitely a sad day. I mean, everybody loved Dolly.
Uh, so the fire's coming up. Bunch of overtime for you guys, ain't there?
Oh yeah, we put up the list a few weeks ago. I mean, we'll have, you know, 6 or 7 people out there giving night. You know, even sometimes even more. I think. Who do we have? Lone Star? Is it Lone
Lone
Star that we
Star.
have
Yep.
out there? That'll bring a good crowd. They got a lot of good hits. I enjoy their music.
I went to do a co-drive with them and ended up 11 months later, uh, still driving for them. I
Really,
drove for them for about 11 months. It just kind of fit my schedule. I was working for John Snyder at the same time, and their schedule, John's schedule, when they was off, John was working, and it just kind of fit in. And 11 months later, I told him, I said, boys, look, I'm leaving this day.
yeah.
But Dean and the bunch, Drew, that whole bunch, they great dudes. They'll put on a good show out there.
Oh, I didn't realize. You know, when they come out, I searched them up, and I didn't realize as many hits that they did have.
Oh
They
yeah.
sung a lot of songs that I knew, but I didn't know that it was Lone Star.
Did you know that John Rich from Big and Rich?
I know, yeah.
He was one of the original members of Lone Star when it first like started, like very first before they actually like their first hit. He was a bass player.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So has the fire? It used to be meet me out behind the Ferris wheel or behind the Himalaya. Is fights and trouble and stuff at the fire? Is it still prevalent as it was? I mean, when you get that many people together, there's going to be.
Over the past 4 years, we've had a pretty good, knock on wood, um, fair season or whatever you'd call it. We've very few fights, very, few problems that we had. We try to have a bigger presence out there. Some people might like that, some people don't like it, but we do bring our command center out there and try to be visible. You know, at least we want everybody to come out and to the fair and have a good time and not have to deal with the riffraff out there. And I think for the most part, the fair's been great for the last several years. I mean, they put on a great, show for that little bit over a week now, and I think it's been a
10 or
good
11
thing.
days.
Yeah, it'll be a Friday to Saturday, ain't
Hmm.
it? Yep.
And then, I had Regan on a few weeks ago, because all them guys get paid. All the fire board and all the
They make
volunteers,
all that big
they
money,
make
don't they?
all the money. And everybody thinks, oh, we wake up and the fire's here. Well, them people's been working for 3 or 4 or 5 months. Not counting they work all year. Some of them work all year. Don't get me wrong. You have some of them that show up and do the initial setup and stuff. But there's people that deal with fire stuff. Uh, I won't say every day, but I'd say close
Pretty
to it.
close. Pretty
Uh,
close. I mean, they start, and I would say they've already been over there starting getting everybody, the buildings prepared
oh yeah,
and
we're
making
less than
sure
what,
that
2.5, 3 weeks from it,
mhm,
something.
making sure all the toilets and all that kind of work, and make sure they hadn't had anything, over the past year, the winter or something, but tore up. But uh, they work over there all the time.
So, talk to Regan. Did you know that they're putting in a new pulling tractor track where the ball fields are at? where the JC ball fields were at.
Right. Now,
They
when will that take effect?
not this year. They're trying to have everything, the dirt work and stuff done to have one pool next year, like in June or something, and then have the fire tractor pull at it. Uh, there's a whole bunch of stuff's got to be done between now and then. But I asked him. I said I heard rumor about this, and he said, "Well, it's not a rumor. It's true."
I have a, employee Braden Carter that works over there a lot. You probably know
Yep.
Braden, don't you? I mean, that's what he lives for.
Tractor pulling or working
The
at the
fair,
fire. I
the
know.
fair. He's over there. If it could be a month, he would. That's what he would want. He'd want the fair to be a month. He's been pushing for 2 weeks. Is what I've told. I was like, Braden, hey man, we might have to sit back and talk if
You know,
we go 2 weeks.
and I tell you, of course, you come out and set up the mobile command center and support back to the strip and stuff, and we do back strip for one day, and I know what it takes to put it on for one day. I can't imagine 10 days of the same thing and that many people and trying to answer the questions and then of course like I always say you got your people on Facebook and I tell them I say look you got 7 or 8 or 10 people griping on Facebook about y'all not doing a good job but look at how many people come to the fire and don't say nothing. That's always the problem is when you pull up there in the parking lot, the only wheel you're going to worry about is the one that's making the most noise.
Hmm.
The other three's quiet. You don't go over and pat them on the back and go, "Good job, boys, y'all made it." No,
You, I've when I speak, I talk about this all the time. Our community's awesome, really. Chris, if you think about it, we have a lot of volunteers. If we have, that do a lot of things in our community, and then if we have a tragedy or something like that that strikes our community, people come out of the woodwork, to take care of people around here. And man, I just can't say enough about our little community. And I mean, sometimes people disagree with one another, but I do think that as a whole we love one another and we come together and for the good and the bad.
I will say that people ask me all the time when I'm on the road and stuff. So, where do you live at? Do you like it here? I want to be home. I love Warren County. I love Manville. Uh, let somebody get sick in this town and need some help and stuff, and watch this community come together. Especially let a kid. God forbid a kid something.
Hmm.
This our town is full of people with good hearts. They just don't get is it credit or they're not on Facebook looking for credit. But the people that don't, and I'd say don't have no sweat equity, they don't put out nothing. They just sit around and gripe about everything that
Hmm.
makes them mad that day. Uh, I thought about something a while ago. Roadblocks. Uh, you always hear they're not legal. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, I'm pretty sure y'all have checked all the parameters of whether it's legal or not.
Right. We usually the state's the ones that are doing the roadblocks, and we assist the state. And yes, if they're involved in it, they're coordinating it. It is legal, and I think they even post it now or put
Oh,
it in the
they
newspaper.
posted.
They posted, hey, that
Yep.
we're doing this or whatever, giving everybody notice basically that they're doing this roadblock or whatever. And so, uh, no doubt about it. But yeah, we mostly if there's a roadblock, we're assisting Tennessee Highway Patrol.
So, is it illegal to, as long as you don't do nothing illegal, is it illegal to turn around and head back the opposite direction if you see a roadblock? And will y'all?
Well, not necessarily, but I would say that if you're in line and they see you do that, somebody will probably
Probably chase you down.
to see why you're not wanting to come through that roadblock. Yes.
Uh, leading into this election, you got 4 years, and then you have to start working on it again if you're going to run.
Hmm.
Uh, what people don't understand is yeah, you got a what I say a cool job. I don't know if I call it a cool job. You got a respectful job, one of the highest respecting jobs of the community. I feel like. Uh, what a lot of people don't understand is you only hold it for 4 years, and then you have to get the people's opinion that you've done a good job. I mean, what does an average election to run cost you? I know you have people that donate and this, that, and other,
Right.
but like, do you have a ballpark figure what it cost you out of pocket to run each time, or what it cost you this
I
time?
can tell you around what the first time I think I raised over $10,000 and spent 40 something thousand dollars. So I it would have been about 30. I would say about 30 of my own money, something like that the first time. And this time I think I raised um, around $9,000, something like that maybe, and spent around 23 something. I don't have the numbers there, but it cost me 20 about 25,000. First time probably cost me 40. So I mean that's a lot of money, and to be honest with you, Chris, it's I don't know if I could do anything different about spending the money. Everybody, of course, I get it, but everybody during election season, everybody's like, hey, donate to this or donate to that, and asking for money or whatever. And I've tried to do that my 4 years. Try to give back to the community as much as I can. But I do have to feed my family too. But it's very expensive, and you don't make up that kind of money. You know,
Well,
just
I tell
willy
people all the
nilly.
time, and I'll tell you the same thing: is when you're going to the rescue squad's breakfast and Susie Q's this or that or
Hmm.
whatever, trying to get votes, and you have to do that. Going to back to the strip, making your face be seen over, going to the fire, wherever. When it's not election year, try to step in there at least one time through the year and shake people's hands. And now, is it possible to go to every benefit charity thing that goes on? No, but I tell every politician, y'all make time to do it when it's election time. But so if you get elected,
Hmm.
make sure. And then if you don't get elected, heck, still go do it. And then when that next
Well,
four years comes
there's some
around,
things that I have been passionate about that I've kind of about the back to the strip. I think every year that we've either I've either been there or we've set up something,
yep.
for y'all. I think that's um, y'all have done a great thing there. It's a great night for our community or whatever, and we're able to raise a lot of money. Uh, you know, youth sports is a big thing. I've sponsored baseball camps. Since I've been sheriff, and want to continue to try to help that out. Of course, my children are involved in youth sports, and I played baseball and youth sports growing up, and so that's a big thing. I'm a big supporter of the athletics, the basketball team and all that kind of stuff. If you've been to a basketball game, I don't know if you go, but you've seen my mug up there on the jumbotron, for the last several bits. So, I do try to help out, and I do try to be where I can be for sure.
Well, I think we get wrapped up sometimes, like it back to strip too, when we're calling around asking for sponsorship, this, that, and other, and you don't realize how many times that person gets called by how many people to sponsor something.
Hmm.
So they try to spread it out the way they can. Of course, we have our big and small sponsors, and that's good. Speaking of sponsors, Napa. We're going to do Napa. Went down there at Thomas today, got me some homing grinding wheels to home out a piece. Stowed this truck, kind of right off the top shelf. Thomas had dusted off. I brought that in. You know why?
Why is that?
I'm going to see if did you actually come in there?
I should be coming in now.
Okay. I brought that because I was going to see if Sullins could actually back that thing out of here. Because you remember our first show, we had our challenge of. By the way,
Hey, police escort right here.
speaking of that, me and Sullins have a challenge, and I have to back a semi from here to Sullins is out there in Smart Station. Reckon it'd be possible to get a police escort to so that this challenge could happen if we raised enough money for it.
I think we could do that. I would like to see that myself. That you
Huh?
back a big truck
Huh?
to to his
Damn.
place.
Get your popcorn ready.
That's right.
You know, Sullins is going to put. Is he going to put his money where his mouth is? He's going to back it up.
Yeah, he said that he would sponsor my show himself
Okay.
if I done that. And what I'll do even more than that is instead of we'll give Sullivan sponsorship, we'll donate that money to some charity. We'll put 4 or 5 charities in a hat, and we'll donate that money to a charity.
Well, you know, here's the deal. We'll help, and you know, even if I said that we wasn't going to help, you're going to do it anyway. So we're going to have to. So you know that's what's going to happen. You're going to do it anyway. So,
yeah, we're just going to do it late at night.
So we're just going to we're going to make sure that try to make sure nobody gets hurt in the process.
I like the way you think, Jackie.
Yeah,
I mean, you knew the truth about it. We was going to do it at some point in time anyway.
Right.
What we are going to do out here, if you've seen this big nice parking lot, at some point in time, we're going to have a. I didn't finish my ad with Napa, did I? I mean, I started out, then we got sidetracked, and we got talking about backing this
Napa.
truck.
You're talking about Thomas Smith, right?
Thomas at Napa, man. Big supporter of this show, big supporter of the Warren County Sports Authority. Napa Know-How figured out what this thing is. This Know-How jug here has a towel in it. And when you get too much know-how, you can wipe some of it off that towel. A lot of y'all people will never use that towel. I'm just saying. You'll not have enough know-how. You don't know how to get out of your own way most of the times. But y'all are good at keyboard warriors. I mean, they do that very well. Speaking of that, got a few things to read over here. Where do I need to send my donations? I don't know what that's about. Oh, that's about this back it up thing. That's just 1 minute ago. Milwaukee tools. Connor, did you bring a Milwaukee tool in? What'd you do with it?
I forgot to get it off the shelf in the
I
back.
forgot to get it off shelf. Go down there to Napa on Burspah Street. See Thomas and the gang. They'll fix you up with anything. This week, go in and tell them you're there for a free hat, and the code word is Andy Griffith.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, if nobody don't like Andy Griffith, I mean, Andy Griffith, that show was great until it became color. I can't even watch one in color now.
It is a little different.
It's different, man. I mean, when they turned it to color, it like lost all of its.
And if you want to, while you're there, go ahead and pick up one of those new, well, they're not new, but M18 Milwaukee chainsaws. Those things are nice. It'll save your hearing.
I tell you that speak of that, all that battery powered stuff has come so far from when it first come out. I had to use a regular air gun, impact gun the other day. I was mad. I had that hose wrapped around me, everything, because my son had my Milwaukee impact gun. And I was like, I just want my impact gun back.
It's like trying to go do roofing with a regular corded nail gun.
Yep.
It's not a fun time.
It's not fun.
I'm not very well balanced, and that extra cord does not help.
No. So, high-speed chases. Have you ever been involved in one?
Yes.
At what point in time, I don't even know where that come from. What point in time do you call it that you have to
Well,
I guess it depends on the threat of the person. Is that?
It absolutely depends on the threat of the person. But when it starts, threatening, lives or whatever, it starts getting dangerous. Usually that's a indicator that you need to cut it off. There's a lot of, conditions that come into effect with that. The time of day, how much traffic's on the road, yada yada, and then what kind of threat, do you have or whatever, and does that person need to be stopped? And that's a big, that's been kind of a big, issue with me because. We've had a tragedy in our community with illustrators.
I promise I didn't even think about that when I brought that up. I just watched a thing the other day about high-speed chases, and I in no way brought that up for that reason.
Yeah, and I don't care to speak of it. It is a tragedy, and
Yes.
And it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing for law enforcement. It's a tough thing for Gary Prater and his family. And I've spoke with Gary, and we've done some things to try to be proactive. With law enforcement, we've got the digital siren alert system. Don't know if you've got the app on your phone or you got Waze, but we're still working on implementing that. It's been implemented. They say it's working. Um, if we get over a certain speed or we're in a pursuit, if you're in that area and you have ways or you're out running, it's going to let you know, hey, there's a pursuit in progress. Um, we want to know. I want the community to know that we do care about the travelers on our road. Our drivers and stuff. And if you get that alert, there's a law enforcement pursuit in your area or whatever, it might be good to deter from that location. We are about trying to save lives, and we do care about the people on the road. So we've implemented that, and I hope that um, prevents something like that from happening in the future.
Is that have you seen that thing they shoot out and it like wraps up in the tire and stuff? Have you seen one of them?
I have. We've looked at a lot of, like, trying to be proactive about this stuff. A lot of things, they'll shoot a dart out, and some of them are saying, well, the dart just bounces off the car. There's nothing really like, big time proven that it's going to work and it's going to do the job that it says it's going to do. To spend, and of course, you've got a lot of money involved in that and equipping all our cars. But we do need to be proactive in that thought process, and money really shouldn't be an option when it comes to saving lives.
Well, that's I think, honest to God, the three leading people that I could think of right off the top of my head that are underpaid in our community or any community: firefighters, policemen on a level of law enforcement, and teachers. Man, I mean, and I know you can also sit back and go, every one of y'all chose the job that y'all have, and you knew what it's going to pay. But at the same time, teachers have our kids more than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement is the number one person that we want to call if something's happening. And if your house is on fire, who's going to run in it?
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I agree with that, and I've heard that too. But people ask more of law enforcement than what has been in the past too. I mean, yes, we choose this career, but we also have to be teachers, and we're therapists, and we're all of the above, in a lot of situations. And so I'm like you. I do think that our officers should make more money. They do a lot of things, and it's a dangerous job. And they're not promised to go home at night. That's our number one thing. To be safe and to be able to go home to their family or loved ones. And it's a stressful and it's a dangerous job.
Oh, I tell Holden. I don't know if y'all know, but Holden Carter's my girlfriend's son-in-law, and he's one of Jackie's sheriff's deputy sheriffs. And I mean, tell him all the time, man, be careful. I mean, you don't know if you're pulling over some guy that's just tickled death to be in the world, or just ready to be out of the world, and don't care to take you when he goes. I got a question that somebody's asking. Can you ask the sheriff about traveling versus driving commercial? This discussion is active with the county. I don't understand what that means.
And I'm not for
traveling
sure either.
or driving commercial. I don't know. I'll have to skip that question because I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm not sure either.
Truth.
If they're listening and they've asked that question, I mean, they want to talk, they can call, and I'll try to find them the answer. But I'm not sure exactly what they're.
Can you ask the sheriff about traveling versus driving commercial? I don't know what that means. But if you want to comment and again and break that down so a dummy myself can understand that, or if you want to call out the sheriff's department and ask for Jackie, he'll try to help you out.
I'll try to figure out that answer.
That is the thing about your daddy and you both, open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had your daddy's phone number for years and years and years. Now, I don't abuse none of them phone numbers, nor would I never give that phone number out to anybody unless your daddy told me to give it to somebody. or yours, either one. But it's always pretty cool that you can pick the phone up. And am I going to tell you that your daddy answered every time I called him right then? Nope. But I tell you what he did do. Called me back when he got
Yeah.
a chance.
I try to call or talk to everybody that has, called me or left a message. I'm sure I've missed one or two, but I do my best to try to talk to people. And I would say that I'm very accessible. I'm in the community. I don't hide. I'm at the ball fields, and I do go to, sporting events or, like what you said, charity events and those places. And if people have issues, I have their avenues to come up and just talk to me. And I think I do a good job about getting out to the people.
How many how many people do you have, for lack of a better word, incarcerated at any given time, roughly?
I would say that 220 would be a good kind of average. Since I've been there, when I first started, it jumped up there pretty close to 300. But I do say, and I've talked about this before. We're hitting the programs pretty heavy. We the churches have got into the jail, and they're really doing a good job. And people might get tired of me saying this, but that the churches in Warren County have stepped up a whole lot, and they're doing better. I think everybody's doing a little bit better about being a support group, for when inmates get out of jail. Certain inmates, a lot of them are it's drug related, and they're being a better support system for these people. And we're not seeing them reoffend as much. We've started the construction class. Hopefully, the 1st of September, we're going to have the automotive. You know,
Oh,
we've got the lifts. We got everything's in it. We got to get the bathrooms situated, but we're going to have classes for inmates to do automotive. We got construction classes. If we can teach them something, and change their heart in the process, maybe they won't come back to jail. And I'm not saying that that's the magic thing, but it does seem to be keeping our population down. And some of the I would give the majority of the credit to the churches that are coming in and being that support system, when they get out of jail, for the biggest change that we've seen in Warren County. And not only that, too, I see there's a change. The youth, and maybe you get out, but back in the day when I was there, if I sung in the choir at church or something like that, I felt like, well, that's kind of sissy or something like that. It's people. It's the generations changed a little bit. I just see a generation that's changed and say, hey, I'm not going to do drugs. And I love Jesus. And I just see a light at the end of the tunnel. I think that we're going to see some good things and some changes coming for Warren County.
I I personally have never done drugs, uh, and one I was scared to death of my daddy that if I done them, he would have absolutely killed me. I mean, no doubt about it. He'd have got a murder charge. Uh, but also, I seen so many of my friends that went down that path, or people that I just knew that had a really good life and lost it all to doing drugs. And I will say that I had a really good friend of mine's son that was a repeat offender of different things. And the last time that he got out, I said, "You done? You done with being out there?" He said, "Yeah, I really want to be done." I said, "Well, change who you're running with." I said, "Number one thing is you're always the
Mm-hmm.
one going to jail, and none of these other people are. So change who you're running with. Start running with some different people." He started going to church and stuff. I'm a big supporter of the especially Freedom Life
Mm-hmm.
out there on Smithville Highway.
They have a big part in what's going
Man,
on in our
Anthony
community.
Campbell is one of the smartest people I have ever been around in the Bible. Big shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Anthony for a long time. I can also learn from Anthony because Anthony ain't always been. He was a preacher, then he fell, and then he come back. So he
Mm-hmm.
knows both sides of it, and I
Mm-hmm.
think you can learn a lot from people that when they talk on your level, you know.
You know, um, I'm a member of GATH and have been for a while, but it's just right down the road from Freedom Life, and Freedom. I know Freedom Life has a lot of things going on. I think about every night of the week,
They do.
something's going on at Freedom Life, and a lot of it, I think, is some rehabilitation type stuff with people that they're making contact with when they come to jail, and uh, and I do think I mean we have the Church of Christ, we have all denominations that are coming in there, and everybody's just doing. I feel like they're really doing really good about being that support system, and I think that's why our numbers are staying, and crime in general is down across Tennessee, in Warren County, and I think that's a big part of what's going on in our community.
What is fentanyl right now still a big problem here in Warren County?
Fentanyl is a problem in Warren County. Methamphetamine, fentanyl, both. Uh, but I'm gonna tell you one of the bigger issues, that I see, and when I can get my, after this election's over with, and get my feet, you know, on back on the ground here, is dealing with what they're selling out of our convenience stores, and our children getting their hands on and what they're getting their hands on. They banned kratom, but what they're doing is just replacing it with something else. And I think that we can do better than that. I mean, if you, I mean, and you might disagree, but if you got to go to the convenience store to get high, or you know, or take something to go, go. We're our kids are getting their hands on that, and then they're synthetics, and you don't know what you're getting, you don't know what's in that package, and when we're talking about mental health on down the line, and our children are getting their hands on it, and I think that's a big threat, and I think that it's going to take legislation. They've done kratom, but there's going to have to be something in place because they're just replacing it. And I mean, and these children are smart. They're going in there and they're figuring that out. I mean, kratom was like they was calling it gas station heroin. It's probably worse than some of the things. Marijuana or anything like that. You're going right to the gas station and buying. And I had a guy reach out to me, and um, I won't say his name, but he reached out and he says, "Man," he said kratom was about ready to kill me. And I've heard a lot of horror stories on that stuff, but we were selling that right in our gas stations. And
See, that shows how out of pocket I am with
yeah,
stuff. I've never even heard of that.
yeah, we've got a lot of things that we're going to have to look at, and I definitely think that the legislatures need to look at what's being sold in our gas stations, because you know there's you have the Indian owned gas stations here in our county, and then you have some places that are Georgia or whatever that's coming down and, hey, I want to put this in your store or whatever. And I think that we have some genuine good store owners, but they don't know what they're
Selling.
selling out there in their store. And we're definitely gonna have to crack down on that, because our kids are getting their hands on it, and it's gonna it's affecting our youth. There's no doubt about it.
Mm. That's shocking to me because I don't even.
Well, and not even our youth. I mean, people, the adults are getting addicted to it. The ones that can go into the grocery store and buy it legally. I mean, the gas station heroin. That ain't good for nobody. You know, um, I just see that being a big problem. But meth is always going to be a problem. Fentanyl's going to be a problem.
Are people still cooking meth as much as they used to?
We
Or
w-
did- or
we
did-
don't see labs much now. We did hear a little bit of I guess kind of a trickle rumor or whatever that labs making a comeback or whatever. But as far as I know, I've not seen any remnants of it, or we've got any kind of.
I mean, at one time, them things were everywhere.
They was
Uh,
everywhere.
and I ain't talking about here. I'm talking about everywhere.
Mhm.
Gonna take a quick break for
Okay.
just 1 second. I gotta do another ad read. Prater's Barbecue. In the words of Trevor Evans, out there on the right. Just go out towards Marson, look on the right, you'll find Prater's, especially with this big new building. Connor, we got an opening date on that thing yet?
I believe it's changed a few different times.
It has. I heard it was August, and now August is over with, so almost over with. So September, October?
Say, hopefully early September.
Yeah.
Fingers
A
crossed.
couple months.
Good
Predators
weather.
Barbecue out there were, personally, Tony Roma's is the only place that I've ever had better ribs. I won't even say better, as good a ribs as Prater's.
They have fantastic
Their
ribs.
Prater's ribs are like fantastic.
They are.
Barbecue's great. I've not had the wings. If he'll invite me out on this Wednesday night thing after Solon's and them go out there and get their free wing stuff, I might come out there and try some wings and eat with them. But I don't ever get invited to that. I'm just old back it up Terry over here on a Tuesday night. But yeah, Prater's Barbecue out there in Marson. Go out there, support Gary Prater and the crew out there. They're big supporters of us. 931-635-2259. That's Prater's Barbecue out there on the right in Marson.
I would like to say too, Prater's is a big community, involved in the community, sponsors a lot of things.
100%.
So we need to support Prater's, but I don't think that's a problem, and they've got good food, and they stay pretty packed.
So, what year was you born?
1977.
Okay, so you're old enough. Do you remember when Gary started out there and he was in one mini barn?
No,
So that used to be a bank lot. There used to be a little bank there. I'm 99% sure I'm telling that right. And Gary put one long building, mini store, whatever you call it, mini barn, built in there, and then branched off to this side, and then branched off to this side, then built on the back,
Right.
and
you know that it's kind of sad to see the old building go. You know,
it is.
You know, he's got a nice. I mean, I've walked through it. It's beautiful. I'm happy for him, but you know, there's just a little, what do you call that, nostalgia there with that old barbecue, you know, joint and the pictures that are in it and all that. I just hate to see that.
Maybe is he going to tear it down?
I don't really know what his plans are, but I would think, you know, for parking and all that, it probably would be.
So the
took out at one
inside,
time.
I heard there's like, I mean, it's like nice.
The new one.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's going to be fabulous on the inside. It's very nice.
Gary's been out there. I guess he probably opened that thing at about 91, 2. Golly, that's hard to believe he's been open that long. That's 35, 34, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around as long as I can remember.
Yep.
Prater's Barbecue. I remember when he went into town for a
Oh,
little
yeah,
while.
he was over here at the 07.
Yeah.
Mr. Quick,
Yeah.
for people that don't know, that's our truck lot. By the way, truck lot, you can sponsor us too if you want to sponsor back it up too. I mean, it's nothing for me to hit us somebody up for an ad here. I try to hit everybody up.
You gonna throw their name out?
I'll throw their name out there, and if they don't sponsor me, I won't mention them again. I'm gonna give you a second to tell Warren County anything you want to tell them, whether it's thank you for their support or whatever you want to tell them. I'm gonna give you a minute to say whatever you want to say to everybody that supported you or whatever.
Yeah, I do want to thank everybody that voted for me, and even the ones that didn't. I mean, that's America, and you know that's what we do. We have elections. That don't mean I don't care about them. You know, I love Warren County. Warren County's been good to my family, and the reason why I do what I do is to try to give back to Warren County because Warren County's been so good to me and my family, and I do love Warren County. I want to raise my kids here. You know, I am raising my kids here, and I think overall it's a wonderful place to be. You know, I've actually, if you go around to these other little communities and towns and stuff, you know, I would say Warren County is ranks right up there with everybody else, and you know, I thank everybody, and I thank everybody who voted for me, and I'm going to give it 100% for this next 4 years and try to make Warren County the safest place for your children and mine to grow up, and And that's really about all I got to say. I mean, I just thankful to be where I'm at.
I think overall, I travel the whole country, and trust me, I don't go out. Most time, I'm seeing the back of concert venues and hotel rooms and hotel clerks and catering and this, that, and other. So I'm not out into stuff, but and I'm just ready to be home. I just love our
Mm-hmm.
community and how that, for the most part, we know each other. I mean, today I was running late going out to Miss Charlotte. Uh, that's a country barking boarding dog boarding out there. That's like Field of Dreams. You build it and they'll come because, good Lord, she's in the middle of nowhere. But you talking about some of the best people in the world. Her and Danny Hutchins are some of the best people. By the way, Charlie, if you want to sponsor, our
Out in
coffee
the cold.
drive through said that she loved it when you said you got to change their hearts.
Mm.
But by the way, this our coffee, that's over at Mount Leo, right
Sure
past
is.
the bridge. And I want to tell you something, girl. If that's you on here, I've heard nothing but great things about how nice you are to every person that pulls up there, that you're a sweetheart. And I'm ashamed that I have not stopped in there yet because I live right behind your store over off Higginbottom Road. And I promise I'll come by there and get a coffee uh, sometime. But I have heard nothing but great things about your attitude. Uh,
I've, I've heard the same thing.
I mean, it's like a flood of people that if you mention coffee, they go, "You got to go to our coffee. That girl over there's a sweetheart."
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're doing over there, but you're doing stuff right because everybody loves you.
Yeah, so everybody go out and support our coffee. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, we're supporting our coffee, so our coffee.
I'm gonna
can-
have to go by there too. I haven't been by there,
So-
and
so
I'm a
they-
coffee drinker. So.
I am too, but here's the problem. I'm just a coffee drinker, and I'm too scared to order any of that other stuff because I'm afraid I won't like it. But I really want to try other stuff.
Yeah, the frou stuff is what
Yeah,
they
that
call
frou stuff. I
it.
mean,
You look like a frou
yeah, no,
type person.
I'm not even like Holden Carter's more of a coffee drinker than I am. He likes his like straight black. I gotta have a little cream and sugar in mine. Connor's over there shaking. Said, Connor, is it time for the question?
I believe it's time 'cause we're already at 6:08.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, but ask the question, Connor.
So we've asked all our political candidates on the show. You gonna be carrying a gun while in office there, Jackie?
Yes, I will be carrying a gun.
He is one of the candidates that
I was about to say I
should
think
be.
he's the only one that.
I will.
I'm
I will
not
say this.
afraid.
I don't carry probably a gun as often as I should. You know, but I do have it close by for sure.
All right, so we're going to do Terry's Take. Terry's Take is brought to you by the Council for Better Teeth. I think I'm going to go off on, I think there was some conversations about people on the road, about what disturbs you the most about traveling. People running 35 mile an hour in the fast lane. I mean, I need 35 mile an hour, but people not moving over absolutely sets me into orbit. And I will say this. We need to have more patience. I was speaking about going out to Miss Charlotte's earlier, and I come around by where Old Shells Ford Road cuts off. Where, what is it, 127, 28, whatever it is. Anyways, go off that hill. It's a passing lane.
Mm-hmm.
I passed. Some dude told me I was number one when I passed him. I don't know why. It was a passing lane. It wasn't double yellow line. It wasn't nothing. He decided that I need to be number one. Well, the Lord did not find my heart, Jackie, at that time, and I returned the favor and told him he was number one. And then the Lord made me feel bad, and I had to apologize to the Lord that I told him he was number one too. But then I wanted to pull over at the church up there and like ask him what his problem was.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happens then? That's how people get killed.
It's bad things happen.
Bad things happen. So I guess we need to have more patience with each other. That's my take. Is wake up in the morning, breathe, understand that you're in the world and that God's good, and just have more patience with everybody. And especially respect your law officers. Respect your teachers. Respect authority in general, whether it's your parents or whatever it is. I think that's kind of where we have got off the hinge a little bit. Is we got a little less respect for each other.
I would have to agree with that, Terry. And you know, I would think, you know, that advice that you give about just, hey, take a deep breath. That's what I would tell everybody. Take a deep breath. We're such a good community, and bad things can happen. You snap of your fingers.
Yep.
And we can just take that breath, be patient.
In a world full of, I'm going to say it, Connor, of assholes, be a Dolly Parton.
Hey,
Be a shining star, by George, and don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
I mean, it don't take much to be a good person. I had to bring Dolly back up, man. That's just heavy on my heart. I just still can't believe that she's not going to be around to laugh at and make you laugh and do stuff. But I'm sure that she left a legacy that's going to take care of many, many, many people.
She had compassion for a lot of people, and we can learn.
People.
And we can learn a lot from that. We need to have compassion for people too.
Yep. All right. Every show so far, not every show, but I'm starting that. I don't ask, I call them out. We're going to end it with a prayer. You want to say the blessing?
Well, I hate to be called out. I mean, this is...
Well, Trent Kell told me a long time ago, don't never ask somebody to say the prayer. Don't never go to them and say, hey, man, here in a little while, I want you to say the prayer. He said, just call them out, put them on the spot, and they either do it or they don't.
Well, I will try to work through this the best I can. Everybody just bow their head. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to thank you for this day, Lord, and the blessings that you've given me. Lord, I just pray for Chris, pray for the crew here at, I guess it's Studio 605, and what they do, Lord, and it's important to our community. I want to thank you, Lord, and just ask you to be with our community. Be with the people of our community, be with the local leaders of our community, and that they would, take your guidance, Lord, on how to move forward in the decision making that they do, Lord, that it affects everybody here in this community, and that they would ask you for that advice, Lord. Lord, we live in a time that's of unrest, kind of a dark time, and I just ask you, Lord, for me personally, to be that shining light and to be, the one that can be a leader, Lord, for our community and to listen to what you say. And Lord, I just ask you for everyone here to guide us, go with us and protect us and love us, Lord. And I ask all this in your name. Amen.
Amen. And that wraps up the 10th episode. 10. Connor, you've put up with me 10 times, buddy. Is it getting hard yet?
Technically, it was 9 because I think Rudy did your last episode.
Oh, well, heck for. Okay, well, this is some episode. I've done lost count. The only time Connor likes me is when I shut up and get off the air, and he's over there pointing going, you're going along again, buddy.
I was actually enjoying today's episode. Not that I haven't enjoyed the other ones, but
well, there
I
you
looked
go.
down and all of a sudden it was 6:08.
I did too. I looked down the first time, and it was like I was like, oh, my God, what are we going to talk about? And then here we are still talking. So, Jackie, I really want to thank you for coming in. I do appreciate everything you do for the community. Tell your daddy I said hi, and I appreciate everything you've done with him. This wraps up this week's episode of Back It Up, Terry. Remember, Predators Barbecue, Napa Auto Parts, Depot Bottom, and the Council for Better Teeth. Brush your teeth, people, and you won't have to go see the dentist as often, and that that contradicts that, because if you brush your teeth a lot, you don't have to go to the dentist a lot, then the dentist that's supporting us, But thank y'all. Back it up, Terry.
Thank you.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord.